Hey there, fellow pickers. My name is Mike Croft, and I'm coming to you from the Redwoods of Northern California.
And my name is Carl Mandrell. I'm coming to you from Castle Rock, Colorado.
Nice. How you doing, buddy? How's it going out there?
It's going good. It's going good. We got a guest on today that's from my neck of the woods. Excited to talk to her. But before we get there, you were saying you got a story. You got a story of the week, yeah?
I do have a story of the week for you, and it's pretty interesting too. Actually, it's about nightmares. So, if you have kids in the room, just I'm warning you guys. It's a little. I'll try to keep it clean though. When I noticed. I noticed the other night, I think you've been working me too hard, man, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I had a nightmare about my eBay app was open. I had all my listings.
Yeah.
And I was worried about posting on social media, dude.
Okay.
I was like cold sweating. It was the worst thing ever.
That was your nightmare. Like that is the biggest fear you have in life, or one of them.
It tells me that I am working way too hard on this endeavor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, take a break, man. I'm not. You don't have to do anything. I have not asked you to list a certain amount. I gave you a challenge, I guess, a couple weeks ago. We'll like circle back to that later on. But yeah, no. Are you more the kind of person that if something kind of negative happens, like a nightmare, for example, that you're like, who can I blame for this? Carl, in this case, is that your style?
Carl. Yeah, Carl, you are responsible for my nightmare. Now I've just been so invested in this thing, man. It's just like when I get off of my 9 to 5, I jump on eBay, I start listing stuff. I'm trying to think about social media and what's the best way to post, what's the best way to do this for us. So I just think you're working me too hard, buddy. I need a vacation already.
I'll stop asking you to do things. I'll stop being demanding. Wait, I feel like I already did that. So we'll see.
Okay.
Once you're not having fun anymore, you just got to dial it back. Is what I say, especially with these kind of side gigs here. But
all joking aside,
go ahead.
All joking aside, it was just kind of funny that I found myself waking up and thinking about the eBay app being open. It was kind of funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
I do look. I will say, I look in the morning pretty early on to see if anything's sold overnight, because it's crazy how often you wake up and there's like been a sale, and I don't know. I think it's fun, but. Speaking of sales though, so hopefully we'll learn some stuff today, because we've got an experienced picker on our show. Like I said, somebody in my neck of the woods. Tiffany, how would you give us a rundown? Like who's on our show here?
Yeah, so I found Tiffany on Instagram. I was starting to follow her stuff. She's got her sales of the week. What caught my eye was her listings show a lot of outdoor stuff. So being outdoorsy too, that kind of caught my eye, and then rolling through them. And then we reached out to her and asked her if she wanted to be on the show. And she agreed to come and talk to us. That's pretty awesome.
She did. And she is an excellent personality. So I'm so excited to talk to her and find out kind of all about her style and anything she has for us. So are you ready?
You ready to jump in? Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Hey there, pickers. Today we have a special guest, Tiffany. Tiffany is a Poshmark Ambassador. She also is a trucker hat aficionado. Welcome to the show, Tiffany.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Tiffany? Family life. It sounds like you like to go hiking.
Yes. I live in Colorado, so it is a prerequisite. If you're going to live in Colorado, you have to love hiking. And of course, I own a Subaru as well, so I might as well just complete that stereotype. Yeah. I've lived in Colorado for about a total of 9 years in the Denver metro area. Absolutely love it, having the mix of, the city life, but then having access to the mountains as well. You could be hiking within 30 minutes of Denver, and it's an awesome place to be.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've been reselling for, I can't believe I'm going to say this, for about 20 years now.
Whoa.
So I started when I was 10 years old. It's amazing.
Wow.
So kidding. But I started,
awesome.
I started like right around college, kind of dabbling in the eBay world, just as it was, kind of starting out with the .com era and everything. But recently picked up selling on Poshmark back in 2019. And then in 2022, I started utilizing cross-listing to other platforms. Yeah. So I do Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully some more to come in 2023.
And this is like a side
Nice.
hustle for you, right? This is not full time.
Correct. So my degree in college is in journalism.
Okay.
So naturally, I work in banking and finance because, money and journalism, it goes hand in hand.
Right.
But yeah, so this is purely side hustle, part-time for me, kind of like my little cushion and my vacation savings, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoy it. I really don't have a desire to do full-time. I really like just having that full-time, the excitement of it, and kind of a little hobby that makes you some money.
Right. And just to clarify, you chose not to major in eBay, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Turn
they
that
only had
down.
minors. Yeah, they only had a minor in eBay, and then a double minor in California as well. So no, I did not major in it. So maybe I should have, and the trajectory in my life would have been very different.
Right.
Who knows?
I think I would predict that in like, I don't know, in 5 years, there's gonna be some sort of reselling major or something. It may not be called like the eBay major, but something like that is my prediction. If it's not already out there.
There is, Carl. It's called business.
Oh, okay.
Business.
It's the same thing. Same thing.
Okay,
Apples
I'll
and
let that one
oranges.
slide.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think they have like a history of Taylor Swift or Beyonce in their music. So I mean, if they have that, you would think at some point there's going to be a reselling major or emphasis on that.
As a class or as a major, you think?
I mean, it could be a major with e-commerce.
I would be so proud as a parent if my kid went to school and majored in that. I'd be like, this is worth the money. This is worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then, they teach you how to wear the gloves at the Goodwill outlets and the bins and everything. And just give you like little, and you're like, I'm paying $30,000 for this. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know if you'll be a proud parent then, but
try to make your money back, before the end of college.
Exactly.
I'm sure it will work its way into some business classes, that the e-commerce side of it, it's definitely booming and becoming more profitable. So
right.
I could see it working its way in some of the college courses as an example.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Cool. So I know we were talking offline a little bit last night, and you're telling me that reselling kind of fills your cup. It does the same for me, to be honest with you. Like, I don't what do they call it, retail therapy, I guess. I love the shopping part of it, but man, the listing part of it, I'm not such a big fan of doing that stuff. You have any secrets on listing? Do you enjoy listing?
I enjoy listing, but I don't enjoy the steps getting to the listing. So I actually had a few hours today, a few spare hours, and I was texting with my best friend, and I'm like, hey, I'll talk to you later. I am cleaning, I'm steaming, I am taking photos, I'm measuring, and then I'm listing. And I'm like, I need to be in my Zen mode. I need 3 hours of my time just to do this. And you can't really see it, but behind me, I have piles. So I have my piles of things that have been measured, things that have been photographed, things that are ready to list. Mm-hmm. It's a beast. I don't like steaming. Earlier this year, I had a steaming accident. That was horrible. I was steaming clothes, and the steamer fell, and it's a little handheld one. And it steamed my foot.
Yikes.
So it was so horrible. I almost went to urgent care. But I had burns on my foot. Like, I was ricing it and icing it and elevating and all that fun stuff all weekend. I couldn't wear shoes for about 5 days.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. Oh, yeah.
I was
texting.
Was it similar to the foot injury that Michael Scott had on The Office when he burned his foot on the George Foreman grill?
Yes. Sadly, I was not trying to make bacon. I wish I would, because who doesn't love the smell of bacon, right?
You're on it. You're quick.
Yes, I love The Office. And speaking of, I have an Office jigsaw puzzle for sale in my Poshmark.
Okay.
I really do, but I'm not going to pimp that out. Okay. But no, it was really similar to that. So I was like, oh, this is my first injury as a reseller. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be careful out there.
I didn't know this was a dangerous profession to get into. This is kind of scary.
It really is. Or when you're measuring and then it snaps back in your face, kind of like one of those slap bracelets,
Yeah. I think that happens to Carl once in a while with those little Barbie tape measure that he has.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
If you're looking for like more efficient listing and taking pictures and doing all that stuff, I mean, you could just bring all that stuff, like bring your death pile to work. And then, during your downtime in between clients or whatever, you're doing in the world of finance, just be like, it's time to take some pictures, snap, snap,
Yeah,
measure.
exactly. That
Just a
would be
thought.
nice. Maybe I could outsource my work. But I am very fortunate. I do work remotely. So
Oh, okay.
this is my desk right here. So when I do
Oh.
have said downtime, which usually doesn't seem to be the case around, month end or the beginning of the month, I definitely, I'll be on a team call or a call where I don't need to look at the computer screen, and I'll be multitasking. I'm all about using my time efficiently.
Right.
So
Sounds like it.
some may look down on that. Some may applaud it.
Have you ever thought your camera was off and it was on and you're like, do, and then they're like, what are you doing right there?
Oh,
no, I wish my my employer
wish?
and my employer and coworkers, they are very anti-camera.
Okay.
And I don't know what some of them look like. I cannot tell you anything about them. I'm like, he may have blonde hair.
Right.
I think
Right.
they may have brown hair. I don't know. And I'm a very interactive, extroverted person. So I like to, have that FaceTime and that connection and everything.
Right.
So that's why I say I wish. I don't want somebody to see me doing that. My Poshmark Ambassador gear and everything.
Right. All right.
I see a lot of ceilings where people have their punch their camera on accident and they're walking to get a cup of coffee or whatever they're doing, turning the heater on, whatever it is. Thankfully, I've never seen anything embarrassing yet, but it's bound to happen in the world that we live in right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you guys do a podcast and you're on YouTube as well. So
Big time.
Let's see what hijinks ensue. Yeah, like you guys look good. You're good. Your business from the top up. So that's all that matters. That's all we need to see.
So I noticed something on your listings when I was going through on Instagram, and you have what sold this week, and you have a lot of really beautiful scenic places that you start off with. I don't know if other people are catching on to that, but like Whitefish, Montana, you got like McDonald, Carl's a big backpacker too, but he's got weak shoulders. Is there any kind of advice that you can give him for, he's carrying that big load around sometimes, he just can't quite handle it. So can he put his listings in his backpack and go out to some of those remote locations and take some photographs of them?
Absolutely. That'll definitely help a lot. And you're doing, the shoulder press and everything like that. And
that's what strong people do. The shoulder press.
But you'll be one of them. We can do you could do a Rocky IV montage. Who doesn't love that? Who does not love that? So
my version of that montage would look very different.
We all have our own interpretation.
That's right. You're like he can't get out of the car, and then by the end of the montage, he gets out of the car smoothly. There you go.
So baby steps.
Exactly.
Progress.
Right.
Some great places to do listings.
Yeah. But thank you for noticing that on my What Sold. Usually those scenic views are places that I've gone to that week or the week previous. So I was really fortunate. Like I said, I live in Colorado. We have beautiful sites all around us. I was fortunate to be able to go to Snowmass for Thanksgiving, which is near the Aspen area. Never been there before. So of course I was saying all the Dumb and Dumber quotes that I could, trying to fit in one weekend.
Did you ride your scooter over there?
We did not, no, unfortunately. So, but I wish we would have got one. But I mean, my husband and I, we were just doing Dumb and Dumber quotes the whole time. And was like, I have been waiting 26 years to do this and be in Aspen and say this quote. Yeah. But recently also, the week before that, I was in the Whitefish, Montana area. One of my best friends from college lives there. So very fortunate to be able to go and see her and visit her. And it's pretty amazing also because she supports my thrift store habit. I think we hit up 4 in one day. I think that was our record.
Wow.
She's all about finding stuff. Yeah, she'll help me. She'll source stuff for me, but she'll keep stuff for herself as well. So I don't expect her to give me everything. Although a fight almost broke out between us when she found a Lululemon jacket at one of the places for pretty cheap. I was like, are you sure it fits? Like you need to, move your arms and everything, move around. But it got so crazy this past time that at one of the thrift stores in Kalispell, I had to actually buy a piece of luggage to put all of the stuff in there. And then I had to check my bag.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, this is who I am.
That's a good, you want that problem though. That's like a good problem to have.
Exactly. It really is. Yeah. And it was actually cheaper to do that and, buy luggage and check a bag on United than it is to send it via, USPS or UPS.
I bet 99% of people have no idea where Kalispell is, but if you've ever heard of Glacier National Park, it's like the small town right outside. That's where that is. So I didn't go to a thrift store there, but definitely been up there. It's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful area.
Yeah.
We go snowboarding up in Whitefish too. It's a beautiful resort up there. I love that little town.
Oh yeah. It's so great. And it's just, I guess, I like to think I know my geography, but I just never realized how close to Canada it really is. I mean,
it's right there.
A stone's throw away. Yeah, it's right there, but it is just breathtaking there. Absolutely 100%. Love it.
Yep. We drove from California, so imagine how long that drive was.
Oh my gosh. Was it 2 days or?
Yeah, we broke it up. My wife is from Spokane, and I have a brother in Spokane, so we drove up there and then spent the night, and then drove into Kalispell or Whitefish after that to go snowboarding. It was a beautiful drive. It was just super long. Geez, I think we did 2,800 miles or something like that. It was beautiful.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth it.
I saw that you picked up a nice pair of warm fuzzy boots in one of your outings.
Yes, those are always fun.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to respond to that question either.
That was leading into something, but you didn't quite get
how
out
to
as it
respond
stopped.
to I have warm fuzzy boots.
Yeah. No, I picked those up last year when I was in Montana, and they were $5, and I am putting them to work, and I love them, and they are great. So yeah, I definitely, most of the time with thrift store shopping, I am sourcing for the reselling aspect of it. But if I find something that just happens to be my size, I'm very of the treat yourself mantra, and we all deserve something nice.
Right on. Well, hey, let's talk about some of that. Yeah, like the finds, the picking, the fuzzy boots, all that stuff.
Found some boots. You found some hokas. What other kind of things are you looking out for on there at the thrift stores?
Well, at the thrift stores, it's really interesting geographically where you go. So when I was in Montana this past time, I found my white whale, the brand that I have been looking to find forever, and that is Arc'teryx.
The
outdoor brand.
Why that? Out of curiosity.
You know what? I have just heard wonderful things about flipping and how fast it goes. It doesn't sit for that long. And also, they're just a really good quality brand.
They are.
So that's something that I also look out for when I'm reselling and when I'm going to the thrift stores. I really don't like to support fast fashion that much, but I like to support companies with a good moral compass, good quality, good ethics. And Arc'teryx is one of those. So when I saw Arc'teryx.
Didn't you have a Patagonia right behind that too? You found a Patagonia in it?
Yes, very, very good eye. Yes, I found a Patagonia shirt, both men's. I am equal opportunity when it comes to men and women's reselling. Actually just sold a men's item yesterday, and I think a pair of shoes before that. So I found Patagonia and Arc'teryx. But it's really interesting because in Montana and Colorado also similarly, find a lot of Patagonia, North Face, Columbia. But then you go to somewhere like Florida, where I'm originally from and my family's there. You're finding a lot of beachy stuff. So a lot of Lily Pulitzer, who's originally from Florida, more tropical items. So it's interesting just to see that comparison and contrast geographically.
Gotcha.
So I had a question about like your I don't know, one of your biggest finds or, I don't like, just, you mentioned the Arc'teryx, like that was something you've always been looking for and you found it. And would you consider that like your best find of all time, or what's been like the best thing you found in terms of just like, I don't know, profit that you made, or just something that was basically like a treasure that you couldn't believe you found?
Gotcha. Well, time will tell with Arc'teryx. So I'll
Okay.
have to report back to you too on how that goes and what the metrics look like there. But I would say off the top of my head, one of my biggest finds was when I was living in Texas, which was about 3 years, 2018 to 2021,
Okay.
and went to a thrift store and I found this women's Holston heritage dress.
Okay.
Simple white dress, V-neck. And I was like, okay, that's a good brand, took a picture because we all have to have, our internet access and have Google Photos up so we can see what the item is.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of it and turns out this dress was a dress that Carrie Bradshaw wore in the Sex and the City 2 movie.
Okay.
And just the profits were pretty good what it was showing. So I was like, okay, I'll take a chance on this $6 dress.
Wait, so Terry Bradshaw was wearing a dress, just to clarify. The dude.
Correct.
Okay.
No.
Nope, Carrie. Sarah Jessica Parker. She played Carrie Bradshaw.
I thought you said Terry Bradshaw, the football player, and I was like, "What is happening right now?"
It would look horrible on him. He's very pale. Very pale. I mean, he's in a movie.
He's quite large too.
I know. I was like, he's falling away. Anyway, all right. I'm not a. That's not one of my shows, so I apologize. All right, so this is like the same model and make of the dress. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Correct. Yeah. And so I saw what the comps were and I was like, I will spend $6 on that because, if I'm going to spend $6 on a caramel macchiato, I might as well just, spend it on the dress and see what happens.
Right.
And it ended up selling within a few weeks and made a few hundred on it. So
whoa,
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So that was a pretty good business decision on my part. So I was really pleased with that.
Okay. So on the flip side of that coin, sorry, Mike, on the flip side of the coin, what's the biggest mistake or blunder you've made in terms of maybe like a bad purchase or I don't know, like Mike always shares about his mistakes where he's like sending things to the wrong people. Anything in that realm counts.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Okay.
Knock on wood. Oh my God. Wow. I am so nervous I am triple checking the labels and everything. So, but unfortunately I feel like it's bound to happen sometime. Human error.
Right.
So that's okay. I would say, some of the biggest mistakes that have turned into learning opportunities or lessons have really been with sourcing online. So some people call that retail arbitrage.
Right.
And I'll do that at different sites, like Anthropologie, Macy's, when they're having an end of season sale. And I did that with Macy's about a year ago now. With some cute, what I thought was cute, very subjective, but with some dresses that were very 90s inspired, and the 90s, and Y2K, that's very in style right now. So I bought three dresses, the same dress, 3 different sizes. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna flip these. I'm gonna make, 400 return on investment. It's gonna be great.
Right.
They are still sitting in that closet.
Oh.
They will not move. I am willing to just give it away at this point. And I was like, oh, you look like you could fit in this. Please just take it. I don't even want to look at it. So I'm not sure, and I think that's a kind of a fine line with reselling is something that you like and is attractive to you and that you think will sell well, but in the real world, it really wouldn't. So a lot of that is just doing research too, looking at those comps, seeing if the market is saturated for a certain item.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I heard recently that vintage, and forgive me for saying this, but vintage tidy whities are like super hot right now. I know in the package, in the package, if you can find the real good old cotton stuff, people are paying
in the package.
A lot. Yeah, people
not with the skid marks is what you're saying.
Oh, Carl, did you have to go there, buddy?
Well, I'm just trying to clarify.
People like bean burritos.
You Coloradans, man, I swear.
I know, we're wild.
No, I'm kind of the same way. I'm new to eBay, like Carl was saying, so I kind of shotgunned a lot of stuff. I bought snapback hats, I bought clothes, I bought shoes, I bought cleats. I'm just whatever will sell or whatever I think will sell that I like. And then I end up having some stuff on my store and like some stuff isn't moving very well. So I'm like advertising it or promoting it for like 50% right now. I'm just like, just get it out of my store. I don't care if I make any money off of it.
Exactly. I don't want to look at it. It's kind of just
I
like
know.
the kid who did something bad. I'm like, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to acknowledge you. I just want you out of my face right now.
Right.
So
It just creates negative space whenever you look at it.
exactly. And
Right.
I've actually, I've been fortunate because I've had a lot of friends who give me items to sell as well. Because they're not comfortable with the whole reselling aspect, or, maybe they think I'm more professional than they are, which I'm not. I've just been doing it for a while, as we discussed. But I am really lucky that a lot of friends have given me stuff as well. So our general rule of thumb is, I will list it and sell it, and then we just split the profits from there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Very
been
cool.
that's been fun as well. But I'm getting close to telling one of my friends that I'm just going to give these boots that she gave me. I'm going to give them to Goodwill soon, because I've had them for almost 2 years now, and they are not moving.
Oh my gosh, you're willing to hang on to something for 2 years and just
Yeah.
like, I'm like a couple
Yes.
weeks, and then if it's not moving,
Really?
it depends on what it
Oh,
is, but maybe 3 weeks. If I know it's gonna
really?
sell, yeah, but we're
Uh-huh.
selling different things too. So
That
if
is
I put
very
something
true.
on, it's not getting any views, like let alone watchers, no views. For example, I just had, so a few years ago, I started buying up baby monitors, like, from like
Huh.
the like garage sales that have all the baby stuff. And those things were selling like hotcakes. And so I bought, I think, 1 or 2 last summer, and I just listed one, and it's got, I don't know, it's a weekend, no views. If it's already in my like donation pile, because I'm sent, like before they would just moved immediately. So
Mhm.
you would do like a
Interesting.
year on that?
Absolutely. Yes. That's
Okay.
You have the
why the
space. Why
closet
not?
doors, yeah, the closet door is closed right now. You don't want to see the crazy town going on in there. I got bins. I know where everything is placed. It's
Okay.
like an English muffin, a lot of nooks and crannies. Put in
So
there. It's my
do you
English
have,
muffin though, and I know where everything is.
I like that analogy.
so
That's
I'm
awesome.
guessing that there's not an inventory system going on in that closet back there.
In my head, in my head, yeah.
That's
Some
Carl's
muffin
inventory
labels.
system too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
funny.
I do use a cross listing service where I upload my listings onto there, which helps me go to the different platforms. So I use that as my inventory system, and I also put the cost of goods in there as well. So that helps me track as well.
Mm.
Before I was doing that, I was just doing an Excel spreadsheet, and
Okay.
it got very busy, very busy, and I wanted to be more organized, but I think I lasted until March of that year with the organization. And then I'm like, no, just let it ride. Let's see what happens. Just
Let it
chaos
ride.
is you. Let it ride.
That's funny.
Well, I'm
Everything
3
was fine.
months into my Excel spreadsheet, so I'm still going strong, but
Oh,
I can see how it can become overwhelming.
yes. If you can make it through the holidays, you'll be okay.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
thoughts and prayers.
All right, Mike, what's on your list, man? What's the question you got?
So I wanted to talk about the other holy grail that you found, and that is the McDonald's adult Grimace toy.
Yeah, what's that all
Yeah.
about?
That is with the adult Happy Meals that recently came out. I think it was about a month or 2 ago. McDonald's had a special promotion to bring back the adult Happy Meals,
Okay.
or a Happy Meal, the adult version, which
Right.
was just a regular Happy Meal. I was like, this cheeseburger is very small. I don't remember it being this small, but okay. But of course, they give you the larger fry and the larger soda as well. But you also get a toy. So, we're adults, but we need something to make us feel good about ourselves. And I got Grimace. So Grimace was interesting, and he had like double or triple eyes. That was different.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for Hamburglar, but no dice.
Did you see how much those are going for on eBay?
Yes.
That is crazy to me.
What
Carl, these
for?
things are going. There's one listed for $7,500, Carl. Can you believe that?
That's like, you can just get it in a Happy Meal currently?
Well, I don't know what the craze was about. It was the whole adult Happy Meal toys. They were all going for, tens of thousands of dollars. It was insane at one point.
Wow. Okay. I met the Hamburglar once, by the way. Just, I don't want to name drop or anything, but
sorry.
as a kid, I was like at a parade. The Hamburglar was passing out like freebie coupons for hamburgers. And I was the kid that like was there just a little bit too late. And then he closed his cape, and magically more of those coupons appeared. And I was like, how did this happen? And so, yeah, that's my only encounter with the Hamburglar, but it was special to me.
You guys remember the old benches with Ronald McDonald that were like a statue, and you can go and sit and take pictures of them?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
dating
yeah,
myself.
I would like if they brought those back.
Right.
I think they should bring those back. I mean, very creepy, very plastic 80s vintage vibes and everything. So,
if you saw one of those at a thrift store, would you buy it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's like $50 at a thrift store. Would you try to flip it?
Yeah, for sure. That thing would go for, I mean, it's people like us. I remember that from our childhood.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that thing like to use though. I'm not sitting on that thing like for fun.
Oh, come on. You'd bring it home and have the kids sitting on it, taking pictures. Come on.
Yeah, just get the Clorox, get the Lysol wipes.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know where it's been.
A lot.
I don't even want to think about it.
There's a lot of people out there with money to burn.
Yeah.
Eccentric millionaires, if you will. They would buy that up in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
the closest thing I found ever similar to that was I found like a booth that was from a Subway restaurant. So it wasn't even vintage, but it was just somebody who used to own a Subway restaurant, had like one of those trash cam where you kind of slide the trash into like the little, moving door thing. And then they had a booth there. I wish I bought that. I didn't think through that lack of purchase, but anyway. Yeah.
Interesting.
I just learned away.
Yeah, that's the one that got away. Exactly. That's so funny.
So are you going to hold on to that Grimace, or are you going to list them on eBay? What are you going to do?
I'm currently deciding. You can't really see it here, but I have some bins back there. And different bins are for different reasons. The blue bin on the right-hand side, mint blue, that is my TBD. That's my little bin of things that I'm not sure if I want to keep or if I want to give away. So I have Grimace in there. Grimace, that's where he currently lives, along with some Colorado Avalanche pucks that I found at a garage sale in Parker, Colorado this past summer.
Wow.
Yeah, commemorative pucks from, I believe, the late 90s or early 2000s.
Okay.
So trying to decide if I want to keep those or not. I'm a big hockey fan. My husband and I, we went to a Stanley Cup game. It was amazing. Yeah. The cost of a mortgage, for 1 month. It was great. But memories.
It's memories, exactly.
That's right.
So wait, so you're garage selling in Parker, Colorado. So that's actually, you're infringing upon my territory here. I got to watch out for you.
Yeah, turf wars.
How close is that? How close is that to Castle Rock?
They border each other. But I used to go there like pretty exclusively. Like I had a little route, and then I've started, I don't know, switching over to other towns and stuff. But every once in a while, kind of poke. I think I went there. I think I hit a few community sales there this past summer, I believe. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for you, and I'll try to get ahead of you, so that way I can look at things first, and then you won't steal the good stuff.
Carl typically has villains that are in his neighborhood that he's competing with at garage sales. So
really,
I don't want an update later on down the road and find out that you guys are competing against each other.
No, there's so there's the villain, and then there's like the nemesis, the people that are looking for the same things as you. And so I have nemesis, I don't know, multiple nemesises. And so if I see them, then I try to like skip past the house and get ahead of them, so that way I can, maybe get first, like get dibs at the next sale. But yeah, I don't know. I have a
sneaky feeling that you guys are not shopping for the same items.
Right. I would not be buying the pucks. Like I would miss out on those. I didn't know those were valuable. How much would a puck go for, a commemorative puck, do you think?
I've seen anywhere. I think it's the market. That depends as well. Pretty much I've looked on Facebook, and I've seen some going for anywhere from $20 to $60 a piece.
Okay. And
how much if I get it for $1?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
$1 a piece.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's
not bad.
Yeah, it's a commemorative puck, but unfortunately it wasn't the full set. So there's one missing. So I think if I find that somewhere in Parker, I'm looking out for you. I can find it. However, I would love to listen to a podcast about garage sale and thrift store, villains and nemesis. Yeah, go with nemesis. I would listen to a podcast or read a book about that. So, maybe the journalism degree, I can make that happen somehow.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most recent one that I came across, and like, I'll just give you like a little bit about this. This guy, I don't know if I share this in the podcast, but this guy's thoroughly confused me. This is actually at a sale a community sale in Parker, Colorado. And it was in the Pinery, which is like a kind of a wealthier area. And I go up to this house, and this guy's like pulling out, he's in the garage. the garage sale's in the driveway, but he's coming from the garage. He's like setting up a golf set, and he's like setting it up in the garage. And so he's like kind of messing with the golf set. He by himself is in the garage. And I said, hey, excuse me, do you have such and such items? I'm looking for these items. And he looks at me. He's like, he gives me this look like, what are you talking about? And then he says, this isn't my sale. I'm a customer. And I was like, you're in the garage by yourself setting up a golf set. Like I thought, I was so confused. And then we ended up running into each other later that day. And he was kind of a jerk to other people, but I was like, what is going on here? So
why are you the way you are?
Yeah, and just why are you in somebody's garage setting up their stuff and it's not even your house?
How do you think this is okay?
Right.
That's my question.
Getting a cup of coffee.
How do you think this is okay?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'll bring you a donut. Why not?
Right. I ended up just slashing his tires, actually.
Oh,
just kidding.
Come on,
There's some eggs on there.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of that, though, we do love to hear about interesting stories that you've come across, either at like the bins or at any thrift stores of just, I don't know if you'd call them shady characters, but anything
awkward.
That's stuck in your, awkward characters would be a good word to describe it. Have you had any awkward interactions at thrift stores that you can share with us?
There's always awkward characters. There really is.
Give us some and let us know.
I'm one of them right there.
Yeah. I have never run into like a fight situation. Okay. I know some people have seen fights break out at the Goodwill or Salvation Army. I have never seen anything like that. There were a few times, and this was in February 2020, so right before pandemic hit, that I was living in Texas at the time, and I had a guy who I'm pretty sure was a reseller, and he was following me around at the store, and I feel like he was kind of keeping an eye on what I was looking for and what I was grabbing.
Like he was following you?
Yes, but he was, he had his card and everything, so he wasn't like stalking me or anything. It wasn't anything too creepy, but I'm always aware of my surroundings. Mm-hmm. And I usually have my AirPods in just because the music at thrift stores is horrible, and I like to jam. So
the smell's pretty bad too.
Right.
It is. Yeah. So that's why I was grateful, for masks in a way, because I was like, oh, if I wear a mask, I don't have to smell anything. I just, people won't see me like making any faces, but, the smells and everything. So
we can't tell if she likes that item or not. She's wearing the mask.
Yeah, exactly. Put my sunglasses on really confuse people.
Right.
But anyway, sorry, tangent. Going back, that this guy, I would grab an item and then I'd put it back, and then I kind of look over my shoulder and I would see him grab it. And I was like, are you a reseller? And I'm like, I kind of wanted to ask, but I eventually shook him. He got off my tail and everything like that. But it's really interesting because I'm starting to see more and more people at the thrift store, pulling up comps on their phone. I was at Goodwill a few weeks ago, and I was trying on some items, and I walked out and I saw this girl. She had a huge cart, and I saw Poshmark on her phone. I was like, the moral dilemma, should I not say anything? I'm like, I'm one of you. I'm simpatico. I ended up not saying anything, but I wasn't sure if that's like a faux pas or not in the reselling world. If you do acknowledge that, or you kind of just turn a blind eye, so to speak. I wasn't sure.
But those phone screens are big, but they're not that big. Like, were you like looking over her shoulder to check out the Poshmark on her phone? Or you're like, what you got going on over there?
She was about 5 feet away.
Okay.
And your girl here got new contacts. Thank you. Vision insurance, good old VSP. So I was putting them to the test. Like, hey, I was squinting, one eye open, one eye closed. Like, I think I can see your name.
We need to come up with some kind of a sign that we can give each other as resellers, so we know who each other are in the store. And
like a gang sign.
Yes.
No, just a regular sign, Carl. Come on.
Oh yeah, it's like a reselling gang, right? Like, hey, we're together.
Thumbs up.
It's fun times. It's good times.
Hi.
Howdy ho.
Don't pick that one up. It's cracked or something like that, right?
Yeah. It's horrible.
You don't want that one.
That's so funny. All right, Mike. Got anything else?
I do have one more, and I was debating on whether saving this till the very end or not, but I think I'll go ahead with it. You have been a fascinating person to talk to be honest, with your grimace and all the other stuff. The one that I've been saving for the end is, I saw that you take such good photos that other people have been stealing your photo listings. What's going on with that?
Oh yeah. What is
My
that?
gosh. In all of my years of reselling, that has never happened to me. And then it finally happened last month. And I've heard people complain about this, oh, so-and-so stole my photos and, they're using it on their listing. And, I've read those posts on Instagram and different social avenues. And I kind of never really thought anything of it. I was like, oh, whatever. But then it happened to me and it hit me hard.
Oh, yeah.
I felt kind of like personally victimized in a way. And, I put it on Instagram and people were like, well, maybe you take such great photos that they thought they were stock photos. And I was like, I appreciate your positive spin. I've never thought of that before. But yeah, there was a seller on Poshmark, and newer seller, I looked at her profile, see how many sales that she had before. She looked kind of newer. And she was selling the same item, but using my photos primarily. She had one or two photos of her own. But then, it's kind of like the moral dilemma. Say she sells that same product, which was a wallet. And then the seller, they see the photos that I took that she stole. I don't want to use that word, but that's what she did.
Right.
But what would happen if, that buyer received that item? It did not look like the pictures. And, expectations weren't met. And could that buyer, open up a case then against that seller? So it's just really interesting to think about. At first I felt it was very personal, but then I started to think about the moral dilemma of it and how that can affect different people, not just myself.
Right.
But yeah, I was quick to get in touch with Poshmark support. I was like, lock it down, take it down.
Right.
So you couldn't just contact the seller and say, hey, I see that you're really honoring me by using the same photos. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to make a big stink about this. Just give me like 10% of what you make.
Yeah, 10%. 10%.
I didn't think that. So now I hope that more people steal my photos. So
I don't know if that's a thing. I'm guessing. Like I haven't had that happen.
It could be. Yeah, I don't know. There are so many underground things in the reselling world that I just haven't run into. And as you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try that next time. I'll go for 20%. Aim high.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah.
Right.
You got to beat the market, right?
Exactly. So the bear market.
Right. And if it works for you, you can start watermarking your photos, I guess. And then you have like the evidence that that's, your stuff. So I don't know if that's easy to do or not, but
you really want to go that far though. Come on.
Yeah. It seems like another thing, but then I'm doing 10 other things. So yeah.
For sure. I just was thinking
that is an option though.
Yeah. But if you're taking the photo anyway. And so if every so often people are stealing your photos and it's actually like becoming lucrative for you, like they're doing all the work at that point. You just had an email and then boom, you get your commission. So I don't know if that would actually happen. I'm just guessing. I'm not on Poshmark, but it'd be kind of fun to try.
There's so many business ideas that you never know. And actually, we're really going off on a tangent here. This reminds me of, something I was telling my husband. I've had my car about 10 years. I am of the camp that nothing is wrong with my car. It is paid off. It has over 100,000 miles. We are running it into the ground.
Right.
But he really enjoys, the haggling at the car dealership. And, I told him, and I'm like, I feel like I need to rent you out to people. Just go haggle for them. And I'm like, we can make this a business. He's like, you think? I'm like, absolutely. That could be. So, I mean, never say never.
Right.
That could
You're
be
like
a business.
Fixer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Not at all. He totally enjoys that. It's like, I will rent you out to people. And
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
you gotta haggle. That's all you gotta do.
I've got a brother like that. I'll send him a listing of something that I want to buy, and I'm like, Jeff, this is what I want. This is how much I want to pay for it. Just let me know when you're done.
Right.
I'll go and pay for it and buy it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting how certain personalities they're okay with that. But the thought of that just gives me anxiety.
Right.
But
that's what offers on eBay does to me. I don't even want to get an offer. I don't even want to check that box. So just pay me what I'm asking for it. Just get it away from me.
But are you pleasantly surprised often when you do see those?
I haven't got any offers yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I take that back. I got an offer from a bot that was a fake account. So that kind of sucked.
Right.
That's a thing. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was a bot or not, but it was definitely a fake account because the account was closed when he sent me the offer. I went to, he never paid, sent him a message, and he was asking me, he sent me 3 messages saying, can you contact me at this email address and this phone number? And I'm like, no, I only work through eBay. Sorry. And then his account was deleted. It sucked because the thing was up on, the offer took my listing down, right? So I had to wait until it got all cleared up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And I haven't really heard about that on eBay, so that's interesting to know. eBay is probably my 3rd best-selling platform.
Oh, okay.
But I do hear about that a lot on Facebook Marketplace. And that's one of my red flags that goes off, is when someone's like, hey, can I pay via Zelle or PayPal or can we talk, or can you text me? And I'm like, report. No,
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think so.
Exactly.
That's kind of like that false hope also. So I totally get that with, kind of getting a feeling of, you're all excited. You're like, oh, I got an offer. And then you're like, oh, it's a scammer.
It's a blessing and a curse for sure. I just recently had something on Facebook and it was getting a ton of interest. I couldn't get anybody to show up to buy it. And then I finally threw it on eBay and it sold immediately. And I was like, man, I just wasted my time texting and messaging. And sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. It's just kind of a gamble, I guess. But
part of the excitement.
Part of the excitement. So, hey, Tiffany, where can so people that want to check out like you on social media or anywhere, where can people find you and follow all of your exciting adventures and sales and thrifting and all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. My Instagram handle is Nicosharbor. It's NICOSHARBOR. And on my Instagram page, like you said, I post about my thrifting adventures, what's sold, what's selling fast, just any weird instances. And I also have my link tree up on there, so you can find my Poshmark store, Mercari, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace.
Absolutely. We'll have that in the show description, both on YouTube and in all the audio podcast apps. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's great chatting with you. I really had a good time. You have any last questions, Carl?
I think that's it for me, my friend.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate
so much.
it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for the laugh. Yeah, thanks for the laughs and the good stories. And can't wait to keep following your podcast now that I'm an official subscriber.
Yes, yes. Thanks so much.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps, that's right. We'll take it.
Man, she was great to talk to. To be honest with you, I thought she was only on Poshmark, and I didn't realize that she was on so many other platforms too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. She was great. She had a great personality. She's kind of rolling with everything we were throwing at her.
She was clunkiness and everything.
Clunkiness and everything. What was? Yeah, give me one of your takeaways besides the platform stuff.
That I need to express my thoughts more than just saying boots with fur line. There was more parts. There was more to that thought. It just never materialized in my brain and came out.
Wait, how did you say it again? It was like, you got some boots, yeah, or something like that.
I saw that you bought some, or that you're wearing some boots, fur line boots.
Yeah,
like,
good
that's
job.
where I left it off.
I know, that was
sometimes
awesome.
Man, the things just do not click in my head. They click up there, but they never make it out of my mouth.
Oh, I know how that goes, man. But that being said, I do want to I would like to award you with 3 awkward points for this interview, and you're welcome to award me the same, but that was one of them. was the boots moment.
Let me see if I can guess them. Let me see if I can guess them.
Okay.
Boots, vintage underwear.
No, that part was funny. I like that part.
Okay.
You could have awarded me the awkward point when I mentioned skid marks.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward. I didn't know if she was going to take that.
I didn't care. I just went for it.
Yeah, I know you did. That's what I love about you, my friend. That's why we make such a good team together.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what were the 3 awkward ones? Let me know.
Okay. So the other one was in the other podcast that I have, the Backpacking and Blisters podcast. There's like an ongoing storyline.
Shameless plug right there, by the way.
It was for sure. But there's a ongoing storyline where my co-host in that one like pokes fun at my shoulder pain because over a decade ago, I complained one time that my shoulders were hurting at a backpacking trip one time, and then he's been bringing it up ever since. And I
love it.
Yeah, it's fun. I kind of play along with it. It's fun, you can kind of poke fun at each other. But then you randomly brought it up in the interview, and nobody had that backstory. So I thought that was definitely an awkward point right there. So yeah, and then what was it last episode? You mentioned Rocky, who's also from that podcast. it's not the same audience, man. They don't know this stuff. It doesn't
I
make
know
any
it's not, but see,
sense.
that's what I love about doing this podcast with you. It's just like having a conversation with you. And I think that's why we're so compelling. It's just you and I talking.
But it has to
Not
make
random
sense to
things.
people. So that's why it's an awkward point.
All
Okay.
right.
The last
I
one
see.
is, so Mike and I kind of share setting up the interview. We kind of come up with our list of questions, and then I compile them into like a bullet pointed, like, here's our topic, here's our list. That's a little behind the scenes that I sent out to her. And so I put his like 3 main questions at the beginning, and then I kept kind of put mine at the end. So I had like a little intro, beginning kind of stuff. So they kind of ran sequentially. So we're like 13 minutes into the interview, and I'm just kind of playing along, but Mike has not asked one of his questions. And we're just like, it's a great conversation still. But I was like, I literally, if you watch the video, you'll see me like look down to my right. I'm texting Mike saying, ask one of your questions. Like this interview's going to go on forever. Like, I don't know, without the structure, I'm like, I don't know how to proceed. Should I ask one of my questions? And so I was like, I was kind of smiling down, but I was mentally struggling a little bit. I'll be honest.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm such a terrible co-host for you, and I never follow your questions.
Now you're making me sound like a bully. Stop it. Stop
well,
it.
we are getting comments that you are bullying me quite a bit, so I think
we're not.
I need to stick up for myself a little bit more. So here's me sticking up.
Okay, I gave you 3 awkward points. You're welcome to dish it right back to me. Was there anything else besides the skid marks?
Man, she was just such an interview to talk to, or such a fun person to talk to that I was just going with the flow, and whatever way she was going, I was going too.
Okay. You could have awarded me an awkward point for actually texting you during the interview. Like, I would have accepted that, by the way.
Yeah, you made me look over to my screen, man. Yeah. I heard you. At least I know that I got my texting set up right, or my notification set up right.
You did.
Yours is the only one that comes through.
But it was kind of a failed text, because I texted you, I think, at like 10 minutes in, and still 13 minutes in, you hadn't asked the question. So that didn't work.
Well, I saw it. I was just waiting for a break. But to be 100% honest with you, the way that you structured the questions, it was like my questions, your questions. So it was like I was going to ask all my questions, and then you were going to ask all your questions.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way conversationally. You're asking the question, but I'm still having follow-up questions and vice versa, right?
It just feels like I'm dominating the podcast these days. I got to tell you.
No, you're good, man.
No. It's been good. It was a great conversation. I loved it. I was really looking forward to seeing your reaction to the McDonald's Grimace toy.
Yeah.
Because I knew that you'd have no idea what we were going to talk about.
Well, and I have found McDonald's toys at garage sales, and I've like bought them up, even old like Star Wars toys from the 1990s, and they weren't valuable. So that surprises me that some of those toys were valuable. I wouldn't know. I'd have to, I mean, at this point I just pass them over. So I wouldn't know what's good or not.
You know what I really think it is, do you remember the Black Diamond VHS tapes that were going for hundreds of thousands of dollars?
No, what's that?
Yeah, they were on eBay, and they had a little black diamond on. I think that they were the Disney brand. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But they're going for a ton of money, dude. Like seriously. And what the conspiracy theory is that it was a way for somebody to launder some money. And so they were buying these VHS tapes.
Gotcha.
For a lot of money.
Okay.
And that's kind of what struck me as odd with these McDonald's toys. People were going crazy over these McDonald's toys there for a while. But I'm kind of like you. I've got some old Batman glasses and mugs and stuff like that from McDonald's, and from the 80s and 70s, and they're not worth very much at all.
Right. Well, okay. You just never know. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun of finding treasures, I suppose. But speaking of that, a couple of weeks ago, I threw a challenge at you. We didn't get a chance to circle back to it last week after our last interview, but I wanted to. The challenge was you had to post something in, like, make a funny picture to see if it got extra attention or something different than what you would normally do. So did you do that at all?
The awkward photo challenge?
I didn't say awkward. That's your interpretation. You always lean towards awkward.
I like awkward. It's fun.
Okay, so did you do it though?
No, I didn't. I've been trying to think of the perfect scenario to do this with.
Okay.
And give me some ideas. What are some awkward scenarios?
It doesn't have to be awkward. It doesn't have to be awkward. It could be anything. So for example, I went super mellow just for fun. And I sold like an old Mario, or I was selling an old Mario game. And because I have kids, I happen to have like these old Mario toys. Like I have like a little Yoshi and the little mushroom character. And so I put the little toys next to the game, thinking maybe like, oh, that's like a fun little like toy thing with the game. Maybe that'll garner more attention. and it still hasn't sold. So fail.
Oh, nice.
Fail. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is I have a necktie. So maybe
Okay.
wear it's like a novelty necktie. Maybe I should wear the novelty necktie. And does eBay is that
wait,
against the
wait, the one
standards?
that you're gonna sell, people are gonna see you wearing
Put it
it.
on. Put it on and wear it. And I'll hold one of my Christmas ornaments up next to it. How about that?
I would like to purchase the necktie from the guy who has it around his greasy neck. Yes.
That's right. Brand new with tags.
Oh my, it's not new anymore.
No, I promise. I owe you another video for something else too. So I'm going to do both those.
All right. Well, I have a new challenge. So now I'm going to double up because it's not fun if we just have to wait for you for weeks on a single challenge. So
all right.
This one might even be harder, to be honest. But here's what I've got. New challenge. And I challenge anybody else out there for this. For you, convince your wife that you should sell something that you haven't used in a long time. It could be something that is your wife's. It could be something that's yours that maybe she has some sort of a connection to, but it's just sitting around. It's collecting dust. Maybe it's got some sort of value to it. You just got to kind of free up some space. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's good. I will win that challenge 100%.
All right.
Is that harder for you to do?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Really?
I have strategies around some of that stuff, but it usually involves more kind of getting rid of it than selling it. But it just depends on timing. Like with anything else with your spouse, you just have to like time the question, right? Like, hey, we haven't used this, so let's sell it. It's just sitting around. Like, what was something that we did that with? We bought when we got a dog, we had a really big dog crate thinking it was.
You sold your dog?
Yeah, we sold our dog. Exactly.
Nice.
It was going to be crate trained. And so this massive crate that took up a lot of space, especially when it was set up. And we tried bringing the dog camping. The dog was not having it. The dog was like, I want to sleep in the tent. And so we ended up just like, I don't know, the dog won. And so we just had this crate sitting around. And it was like, well, but we might use it under this scenario. And we didn't. So I was like, let's sell it. So I won that battle. Worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
No, I'm still in that fresh eBay mode where I'm looking around my house and I'm looking at what I can list and know what's valuable and what I see money in. Like I have a box of snapback hats that I just need to list that they're still in a box. I never even look at them. I never wear them.
Yeah. All right. Well, then you can go through her drawers and look for stuff.
No, I'm not going through my wife's drawers. Thanks, buddy.
Honey, I noticed you haven't worn this shirt in a while.
Yeah, that's a contentious discussion with us. Is we each get a closet and a half in our house.
That's a lot. All right.
I'm not touching her half of the closet.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll find something else though. She just won't miss it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, that's all I got for me. Do you have anything else going on?
I sold another Christmas wreath.
Okay.
Motorized Christmas tree and a light up 6-inch light up Christmas tree the other day.
Okay. Cool.
Christmas stuff's flying still, man.
Any more door hangers? Frosty the Snowman?
Well, the wreath. No, the Frosty the Snowman. It's listed. If any of you guys want to buy it, get on my eBay store, Pickers Podcast.
Okay.
It's listed up there, ready to sell.
Gotcha.
Good stuff. How about you? Man. You got anything going on?
I did, inspired from the last episode, I did start putting the what do you call it? Like the tithing, where I have 10% going to like Samaritan's Purse from my eBay listings. And then the listings, I'm not doing a ton each week. I'm doing like 10 to 12 a week at this point. And most of my listings sold pretty fast this week. So I don't know if that was as a result of that. That's not the intention behind why I listed it, but I just noticed that they sold fast this week. I had kind of a bigger pile to bring to the post office. So that was, I don't know. That's something, right?
That's pretty cool. So a bigger pile. How many items are you selling a week?
Well, I'm listing 10 to 12. So I'm typically selling like, I don't know, 8 to 10, I would say.
Oh, wow. That's great, buddy.
So I mean, I'm working, so it's not like I have a ton of time to list things. And but I have a fixed inventory. I'm going to run out, end of this month or into January, I'll probably be sold out. So I'll have to kind of figure out ways to source more things.
How many items do you have in your store?
I don't have official store setup. And like I said, I just delete items or I'll package them with other things and try to sell them different ways. I don't let them sit for too long typically. So I've got like right now I just have 5 listings up right now because most things have sold, and probably 3 of those things I'm going to delete by the end of the week.
Wow.
So,
Well, you're
yeah.
doing something right. If you're getting that kind of movement, you must be pricing things pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at similar prices, but yeah. Thanks for asking, man.
Nice.
All right. Well, fellow pickers, it's time to find your own treasures, one story at a time.
And remember, it's not reselling if you're not selling Patagonia.